So anyway, back to that. So would you talk before we run out of time about simmering? I would like to know more about this because this is a brand new concept, and I love the way you said it doesn't mean nobody had an orgasm. I was like, you were like, but that isn't the end all. And so you're just broadening out this definition of what it is to
Yes.
turn
We,
on,
we,
turn on.
mhm. We allow this space for customization of what pleasure means. People keep equating an orgasm with pleasure. For my wife, like personally to our situation, if I only give her one orgasm, she's gonna be pissed. Just like getting a party started. Like what? And for other people, like that one orgasm is enough, and they'd be overstimulated afterwards. Like I said in the video, I was like, you have got to define what pleasure
Yeah,
is for
and I
yourself.
love that you said that customization for your temperament. That's temperament is the key word. I ask everybody to test whatever I'm saying against your temperament.
Yes.
If
Yes.
I say to go do yoga, that's bullshit. It just should.
Yeah. Don't shit on yourself.
I know that's been long. I understand.
So far from authenticity. Every time you think or say should, I'm
I
like, oh, should, who
know.
gives a fuck about what it,
I
because it
know.
doesn't
I know.
matter.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's heartbreaking to me. Like I just had a workshop last week, and I was trying to tell there's a group of late bloomers, and I'm trying to explain to them, like, you have to stop saying should, and you have to start asking yourself, does this feel good?
Yes.
Am I having a good time? And
Yes.
I tried to simplify it as much as possible, but there's still people going, what does that mean? And I'm like,
Yeah.
seriously, does it feel good? And they're like, well, what do I do when it doesn't feel good? And I'm like, you don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it, because you're going to create resentment. As soon as you start acting like something feels good and the other person thinks they're doing something that feels good, now we're lying. You're lying. It's a lie. You're disconnected.
Since my husband died, I have found that even with self-love, I
Mm-hmm.
am impatient at times. I
Mm-hmm.
don't recognize when it doesn't feel good. And I have to, I have been practicing that. Does this feel good? I haven't added, am I having a good time? I'm going to add that.
Yeah.
And then I saw a Goop special on
Yeah.
where they were training that different people have different levels of what turns them on. And of course, they're talking to sex therapists, and
Yes.
they were talking about some people don't even need any direct touch. And I was like,
Those are
vibrate,
the
freak.
energetic.
Are you fucking kidding me? And I was that. And I was
I'm
like,
energetic. Yeah.
oh my God, I had
Yes.
no idea. I barely
Yes.
need to be touched.
Yes.
Honestly, this was just
Yes.
an
I
oh,
I prefer the anticipation of the touch to the actual touch.
I know, right?
Yes.
It's just
Yes. And
yeah,
not everybody's like that, but those are the
no,
energetics. You're talking about the sexual blueprint from Jaya. Yeah. That's
yes,
great
yes. The
work. It
sexual blueprint. I didn't remember what she called it. I kept floundering for the word. I knew she called it something, but
ties into how your arousal is sparked, because it's all so different, so subjective. I am obsessed with how the arousal system works. That's kind of like my expertise, especially when I'm working with clients. I love working with couples. It's like a puzzle for me. I'm getting in there and I'm trying to find out what makes you feel good. Okay, what makes you feel good to receive and what makes you feel good to give? And let me find the complementary parts so that I can just slide you two together in a way that ignites you. Like I had a couple last week. It was so fun. We were trying to find initiation that felt good instead of burdensome, because she was equating like getting sex started with another duty. Oh, I got a to-do list, check, and I was like, oh no, it needs to be an invitation to play. It needs to feel playful and light, and a place for you to be creative and not a burden of like obligation. So I asked her, I was like, how do you unwind? And she's like, well, I like to just, stretch and lay out on the floor and just kind of roll around or play with my stripper pole. And I asked her partner, I was like, and what do you think about watching her do that? And he was like, it's hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, could you unwind in front of him? And oh, I just watch her shoulders just, oh, and she's like, that sounds fun. Like I'd be in my body. And she would get what she wanted, which is feeling his like desire for her, but also displaying his self-control as he watches her unwind and waits for her signal to come and pursue her because she wants to be pursued, but on her time.
Yeah.
So I love trying to find those pieces and put it together like that. But that sexual blueprint cuts through that with that quiz. You take it, you find out, okay, I'm an energetic. Okay, if you got a partner who's an energetic, the thrill is the anticipation. Like build that anticipation throughout the day. So if you put that into simmering, it becomes like a text message early in the day. This is what I want to do to you later, or I'm thinking about how you taste or whatever, like all that just ooh, and just poke at that all day. And like my wife and I, if we pass in the hallway, we'll stop, have a make out session in the hallway and then end it away. Sometimes if we're in the bedroom and I like folding clothes or things like that, we'll have a quick little tryst on the bed, but it's like a signal of, and I'll tell her, I'm not done with you yet. I'm not done with you. And she gets all giddy, like, well,
Oh,
okay.
that was another post you did that was phenomenal with that Dom, that guy, and the list.
Yeah, RJ.
I've been
RJ.
sharing that with people and saying, guess
Brilliant.
what? I never, ever, ever heard that redefinition of Dom.
Yes.
Because I don't even know what your initials BDEM or whatever you have.
Oh, BDE, it stands for big dick energy moves.
I had a feeling like it was a secret quink
Yeah.
code or something. You use
Yeah.
words that I don't know, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I love that though. I love
Yeah,
that.
a friend of mine, like 9 years ago, told me I had big dick energy. And I was like, oh, do I? I like that. And so when I built my business, I was like, that's going to be the company. That's
Oh
like
my God, that's great.
this energy. And I mean, that's what RJ is explaining in that video. He's like, dominance is an energy, and the energy is you can
Oh,
take
and
care
I
of it.
love
You
to be hugged
surrender.
from behind.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are safe to surrender into me. That's dominance, not aggression, not I take. I only take
No,
if
if
my wife and I have that dynamic of dominance and submission, and we created it together on her initiation. She was like, I want you to be my dominant. And I was like, well, let me read everything I can, and then we'll collaborate it together and we'll dance with it. It's a dance. She just wants some place to surrender. She's a nanny. She making decisions all day. Her mental load is completely taken up with keep these little people alive and feed them and clean. And when she gets to me, she just wants to surrender.
when you said when you were talking in one post about um, learning what the other person is feeling and what they're responding to, how responsive they are. And when you said, sometimes when I touch her, how she moves against my hand.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. It was like bing, my brain's just lighting up all over the place because obviously I long for people I can actually have this conversation with because I've been told,
I love it. Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, I had no idea I had such a need to like go. And then you said this and you said that, because I guess in my own way, I'm that's what I adore. I adore new conversations about new information that I think are so a big, huge part. Like you, I live for connection. And so
Yes.
Oh my God, we're out of time, hun. Thank you. I could not have gotten more out of this if I had tried. So thank you. And I will make sure and introduce you with all of your contact information so that people can find you on their own on TikTok or wherever you are doing business. And I know you have a Patreon page. I plan to start contributing to that. I want to thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you ever want to do this again, I love these conversations. I live for this. So
Okay.
like it's the game.
Thank you, Whitney. I just adore you. Okay, goodbye.